are you aware of any time in your life that like wearing your natural hair has cost you any job opportunities?
Went to work on the Monday and I actually felt quite confident. And I thought, you know what, I might do this more often. And then one of the partners came up to me and he said, "What the hell is going on with your hair?" Those were his words. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He said that.
Speak like you love yourself. Think like you love yourself. Eat like you love yourself. And care for your natural hair like you love yourself.
So I want to welcome you all to Holistic Hair Conversations, where we discuss all things holistic natural hair care and holistic natural lifestyle. I would love to introduce you all to Miss Selena of Mindfully Rooted. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, lady.
Well, as you said, my name is Selena and I am a full-time content creator here on YouTube, and I create content in relation to holistic hair care and try to really do my best in raising awareness with regards to unhealthy, synthetic and toxic products that seem to be aimed towards our community. So I really try my best to raise awareness there, as well as helping other women with type 4 natural hair to have a holistic, more natural and healthy hair care regimen. So yeah, that's me. I'm from the UK, married with 2 children, and yeah, that's about it. So I can think of at the moment.
Awesome. I would love to know, when did you begin your natural hair journey and why? What was the reason for going natural?
Well, I've actually had a few natural hair journeys. I've had a few, but I'll keep it as short as possible. So the first one, I actually grew up with my natural hair. I wanted to get a relaxer when I was about 13, but my mum wasn't having that at all. She was like, no, that's not going to happen. Until you turn 18, you're not putting anything on your hair. So I waited until I was about 18. And then the moment I turned 18 was when I got my first relaxer. It just seemed like everybody else was doing it and I wanted to be in with the crowd. And so, yeah, and people were getting bullied, or women, girls were getting bullied for having their natural hair. And I just didn't want to be a part of that at the time. So I followed the crowd and went and put a relaxer on my hair and continuously started to do that. So that was the first journey that I went on until I started noticing breakage, and then I ended up switching that to wearing wigs and weaves. So that was the first journey. But I'll speak about my current journey, which is the one that I'm on now, because this has to be the most enjoyable natural hair journey that I've been on thus far. So a few years ago, I grew my hair almost to waist length, but my hair wasn't healthy at all. It was shedding excessively. It was breaking. It was very brittle. I couldn't keep it moisturized for very long periods of time. And so I wasn't really enjoying that natural hair journey. So I just decided, right, I need to start from scratch. So I decided to shave my hair, the sides and the back. I left the front middle section just for the style. And I just decided to rock that style until I was ready to go back on the natural hair journey again. But in the meantime, I was doing a lot of research and trying to work out, what products am I going to use this time round. So eventually I started to grow my hair out, and I ended up going back to the same products such as Shea Moisture. That was like the main one for me. But I noticed that my hair was again breaking off, excess shedding. So I've done a bit of research, and it was from then that I decided I wanted a more natural, holistic way of looking after my hair. And to mention as well the fact that I was getting braids put in, synthetic braids put in, which were totally ripping out my edges and just leaving me with bald patches. So I was just sick of it. I was sick of the fake hair. I was sick of the toxic products that I was putting on my hair. And so I just I lost trust in the industry. I lost trust in these manufacturing companies that were selling all these products. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna claim this back myself. I'm going to put my own hair health into my own hands and find a solution to all of the problems that I was faced with. And that's exactly what I did. And even though it took quite some time to get to where I'm at today, I'm just so proud and so glad that I decided to take that time, because it's been the best decision, not just for my hair, but for my health as well. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really finally actually now enjoying my natural hair journey.
I love that. It's so interesting that you said you grew your hair to waist length, but what you noticed, it just wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
And so you felt like you needed to start over. Like, looking back, is there anything that you can attribute to the lack of health in your hair to, at that time?
Absolutely. Because I was using products such as Shea Moisture, and because I'm no longer using Shea Moisture, I've started to notice that the problems were coming from the products. Now that I've been on both sides, I know what was contributing to the downfall of the health of my hair. I noticed that it wasn't just that my hair was dry, it was the fact that it felt brittle, and I knew that my natural hair didn't naturally feel that way. So I attributed it to the products, because I was retaining quite a bit of length, but there were patches all over my hair. It was very uneven. I just wasn't able to keep it moisturized or keep it strong. So I honestly, hand on heart, believe it was the products that I was using. So because I'm not faced with any of those problems anymore. There was that, and also I was suffering with a lot of scalp issues as well. A lot of dry scalp, itchy scalp, and just patches throughout my hair. And again, I'm not suffering with any of that anymore. So for me, I personally believe that it was definitely the products that was causing a lot of that.
I'm going to have to agree with that. Experience, right? Experience has shown me, after not only, experimenting on my own head before I became a cosmetologist and started working with other women. But, one of the things I always do with my new clients is like evaluate their current regimen, what they're using, right? Okay. So I get to collect all this data on how these products are affecting people's hair and scalp, because the scalp issues are attributed to a lot of these unfortunately toxic and harmful ingredients in some of these products. And so that's exactly what it was, and then the other piece that isn't really talked about is how even some of the ingredients in the products can cause, or greatly contribute to the hormone issues that we're having. So people are like, oh, I have, a hormone imbalance, or, a PCOS, and all these different things. But some of the toxins in these products actually do affect the developmental and reproductive systems, and we're taking them in through our scalp. We're taking them in through our hands. We're, it's getting to the tissue, all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, bad stuff. But all of that is happening, and then you go to the dermatologist and they're like, oh, well, it's your hormones, but they are not able to make the connection that these products that you're using can definitely be adversely impacting the hormones. And I mean, we'll go down that slide a little bit more in a conversation, but I feel like it's important for women to understand that it is not just the hair that is being negatively impacted, but our health also. So it's very, very important to make a shift as soon as possible.
Yes.
I'm glad you were able to pinpoint and say, let me try doing something different. Let me try the natural way and just see, the true natural way, and just see what happens for me. And now you're in a place where you're really, really loving your journey.
100%. Yes. There's no turning back for me, because I know for sure that those products were causing me harm, literally were causing me harm. And I'm just glad that I didn't just brush it under the rug or think, let me try this product and that product. I just faced facts. The facts were there. So yeah, I just made the switch, and it was funny because I remember seeing one of your videos just pop up on my feed, and when I was already into the journey, it's like watching your video, it reaffirmed that I was doing the right thing. And I was thinking, we need more people on here talking about this. There really isn't many. There's a lot of people pushing all of these different products, but I'm yet to see as many people talking about the actual health side of things. So you were like a breath of fresh air.
Thank you. So are you. That's why we're having this conversation, right?
Yes.
So have you had any struggles like with your self-image related to wearing your natural hair?
I have done in the past. On this new natural hair journey that I'm on, I've had none, but I believe it's because I decided to do inner work. I had to work on myself because I did have some deep-rooted issues that came from comments that were very harsh comments that were made towards me many years ago, but it's almost like my subconscious mind held on to that. And so I wasn't all that confident in my natural hair. And I realized quite quickly, actually, to stop seeking validation from other people. It really doesn't matter how others see my hair or what they think of my hair. So once I realized that, I understood the importance of doing the work myself and getting to love my own hair myself and not seeking that outward validation from others. So yeah, there was a lot of self-image issues that I was faced with growing up, and yeah, but thankfully I managed to do the work and overcome them.
Yeah.
Especially because I've got a daughter as well. And when I think the pivotal moment for me was when there was a time when I used to wear wigs all the time. And she said to me one of the days when she came home from school, she says, "Mum, I really want straight hair." And I looked at her like she was crazy. I was like, why would you want straight hair? And she's like, well, look at you. And that was the moment for me. I thought, no, she really is watching me. I need to just cut that out immediately. And that was the last day that I wore a straight haired wig.
Look at that.
So,
how old was your daughter when this happened?
She was about 9 or 10. Yeah, she was fairly young, and I just didn't want her to go through those self-image issues like what I was going through when I was younger. So I understood the importance of, being the person, being someone for her to look up to in my natural form, because that's how I want her to be. But I have to practice what I preach. I can't say to her, you're not having straight hair when I'm walking around flaunting straight hair that wasn't even mine. Bit of a contradiction.
Yeah. Right, you're right about that, because no matter what we say, like, our children are going to do most likely as we do.
Absolutely.
And even if it's unconscious to them, they're doing as we do. So we have to be very cognizant of the fact that whether we like it or not, we are the demonstration.
We are.
We are.
We are.
And if you're going to say, "Oh, baby girl, your hair is beautiful. You can, you don't need to have straight hair," then what's wrong? What's going on with your hair? Well, I don't see your hair long,
Exactly.
That is key. I know. I've serviced several women in that schism where they're like, "Oh, you're pregnant." They want to, change over to natural before their baby girl comes, so that they can be an example, and then, of course, learn how to care for her hair and all that stuff. Yes. And some of them are successful, and then some of them regress. Right?
Okay.
We all are in different stages in the journey, but even if your why is important enough, you'll stick with it.
That's right. Exactly that.
So how have you overcome any specific hair care or image challenges?
With regards to hair care, it was just a matter of trial and error. And I think what played a really big part in me overcoming a lot of those challenges is when I decided to go on this particular natural hair journey, I decided to do something different, something that I've never done before. And that was to actually create myself a natural hair planner. Because I was just tired of doing everything on a whim. And so I thought, let me create this planner so I can actually document and detail all the specifics. What am I using on my hair? What's the outcome? How is my hair feeling the day after, 2 days after? And I just started to document every single little thing, including doing length checks and things like that. And then I started to discover over the weeks and over the months, I could start to see what was working, what wasn't working. So I literally had to put in the work, and I had to take the guesswork out of it so that I could be sure of what I was using was actually working. So yeah, that's what I did, and I'm still doing it to this day.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So you created a planner, a hair. That's fantastic. Are you going to be selling this thing? Like, I think the girl might be able to benefit from something like that.
Yeah, I am. I've given it to a few people to test a few months ago. So they're still testing it out for me as well and giving me their ideas of what I can include. Mm-hmm. So it's still in progress, but it's amazing. It really has worked wonders for me because it totally took the guesswork out of everything that I was doing. And I could just see as plain as day what I needed to do going forward, what wasn't working, what I needed to change. Everything was there. And I think this has come from my background as well, because I've always been someone that documents everything or journals a lot. And this is how I'm able to track things and monitor things. So I thought, well, a goal of mine is to have healthy hair. So why not use a planner and a journal to help me to achieve that? And it's really worked wonders. So yeah, I'm developing it even more at the moment because that's one of the products I will be selling in the near future. Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that. I absolutely love that. I can't wait till it goes live because I'm pretty consistent with my stuff, right? But I feel like it is hard to keep, like when you want to, especially when you want to start trying different methods and things, different products and stuff, it's hard to keep in your head when you did what, and then, be able to, see, okay, however many weeks out, this is how my hair is responding. This is how, my scalp is responding. So that is fantastic. Now, were there any, with relation to any self-image challenges and wearing your natural hair, do you have any techniques or tools that helped you to overcome any image challenges?
I would say that for me, my blow dryer has been like my best friend. I don't like to use it too often because I know that my hair doesn't like it too often, but I absolutely love a good blowout. And it's like, I think because I've got really fine and I'd say maybe medium density hair, the only way that I can get that body, the volume that I like, is from using the blow dryer. Otherwise, sometimes I have in the past felt a little bit self-conscious because my hair is really fine and you can see all the partings and stuff like that. So that's something that I've only recently gotten over. So I do tend to, whenever I can, I used to blow dry my hair quite often because of that. But I'm finally just at a stage in my life where acceptance is key. So however my hair is how my hair is supposed to be. And I love it in all of its glory.
That's awesome. Yes, love acceptance and, what's going to make it easier. And that blow dryer life, I'm like, hats off to y'all, because honey, like if I touch the blow dryer once a year, I am doing good. I'm doing good. And it's really for the purpose of like a really, really, really good trim, It's been so many years since I even straightened it, wow. Just because it's just a lot of extra work.
Yeah.
In a place where it's humid all the time. So gosh, I would just like, it's 80% humidity every day or more.
Yeah.
And in the rainy season is more, and it's rainy season now. I mean,
Okay.
I would just frustrate myself trying to like, straighten the hair and, blow
Yeah.
dry it regularly. It's like, no, I am so
Oh,
talk to y'all that even have the patience and to go that extra step, because I'm like,
yeah.
it's clean, it's detangled,
Yes.
it's good.
I love it. I love it. I'm trying to get that way. I'm trying to.
In here, I might twist it or braid it, but you see that there's some of that. Nope. I'm gonna put the products. I'm gonna let you air dry.
Right?
And then I'm just gonna put you up. Like I thought for like 2 seconds, ooh, let me go stretch my hair out. I was gonna like, take the blow dryer and stretch it and make it big. And if I
Yeah.
did that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here like glistening right now
Oh
because
my gosh.
it is warm and the hair makes me hot. You like when it's
Yes.
out,
I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot right now. Yeah.
so I'm like, you know what?
But it is beautiful. I watched your video of you blow drying your hair, and oh my gosh, the beauty! It was absolutely gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
Gorgeous.
I love her. She gets, very good care.
She gets love. She gets love. I can see that.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh God, I can't spend that kind
I'm
of time with her on a regular basis. It's just, that's too much.
trying to be that way. I am trying to, because me, when I blow dried my hair the other day, as I said, that was the first time in 6 months. And that's because my hair prefers to not be blow dried. It doesn't want to be blow dried. And I've noticed amazing results from not using the blow dryer. So now that I blow dried it the other day, I really want to step away from it again and go a very long period of time without blow drying it again. So I'm trying to be a bit more like you and not really use heat on my hair for long periods of time.
Hey, we all have to do what works best for us, right? What works well for
Yeah.
us. Now, I do know that some of us, because I had a conversation, I want to say a week or so ago now, with Miss Classically Kept.
Oh yes, I watched it today.
She does the cool setting on the Rev Air, and that's her jam, like that's her lane. So the hot dog discomfort, doesn't happen, but you still get the stretching mechanism. Is that similar? Do you do something similar, or are you using like medium to high heat?
I'm using low to medium heat.
Okay.
I can't get the Rev Air over in the UK for some reason. They won't sell it over here. I think it's something to do with the voltage or something. But I can't get my hands on it. So I've just been using a regular blow dryer. Yeah. But the other day when I was blow drying my hair, I accidentally put it on the hottest setting. And I was like, oh my gosh, no. But I didn't even need to do that. I just need it on the low to medium. And the rest of my hair turned out absolutely fine. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, it was the high setting. But now I've realized I actually don't need the high setting. So I just like to keep it on medium. And then I'll go over it with the cold setting after that, just to seal everything in.
Same. That's the move. And I definitely want to speak to that so that, ladies who will view this conversation understand that they don't have to be out there on the highest heat, get like it's not necessary. You can get it on medium if that's what you got, and working out like that.
Yes.
Very good. So are your loved ones positive or negative towards your natural hair?
They are very, very positive, and they always have been. I have to give a shout out to my husband here, because he actually loved my natural hair years and years before I did. And he would always let me know how beautiful my natural hair is. And so I'd look at him like he was crazy. Like, is he just trying to be funny? I think he's trying to be funny. But he honestly has always preferred my natural hair over any other style, extensions, wigs, weave. So yeah, my husband's very supportive, and my children as well, who are both adults, they prefer natural hair as well. My mum, she's got natural hair. Everyone in my immediate family have all got natural hair. So everybody's been very supportive, and they all watch and learn from my videos and your videos. So yeah, all good.
That is fantastic. Because the next question was going to be about like the significant man, and how he feels. And so it is wonderful, absolutely wonderful to have someone who sees you as you are, and just you're beautiful that way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you don't have to do all of that. Like, I love you in your natural state. Just wear your hair, like long, short, whatever. It's yours, right?
That's it. Yeah.
It's so affirming. So I think you are very fortunate.
I am. I'm very blessed. I am grateful for it as well. Yeah.
Very fortunate to be surrounded by loved ones who are overwhelmingly positive about your hair.
Absolutely.
Do the opinions of your loved ones impact you emotionally?
To be honest, they actually do. They do impact me emotionally, because I know that they're genuine with their love towards me. It doesn't actually stop me in my tracks if I've got my heart set on something. So I will always take on board, anything that they've got to say to me. But if I'm set on something, I'm set. But their opinions and what they say, it does honestly affect me emotionally, if I'm honest.
That's good. Because the people that we care about, their opinion does matter.
Yeah.
And it's just, how we are able to like sit with and reconcile with the opinion, especially if it's not necessarily something that we deem positive or want to hear. But it matters, like we have to normalize being emotionally honest. It's okay to say, I care about what certain people think, and it's okay to say that, even if, like you said, it doesn't change what you're gonna do. But I heard you, and I'm gonna process that, but I'm still going to do this thing over here. But always be honest. Like I, just in life and in work, have gotten an opportunity to observe, the activities and the movements of people who are just not emotionally honest. And it's like, okay, you're saying one thing, but your behavior is not aligned with what's coming out of your mouth. So what's that about? And if you care about them, then I would ask them, just, it's to have them explore that. It's like, you don't have to tell me what it's about, but this is what I'm observing from you. And I would really like it if you could take some space to yourself, just reconcile like what the behavior is about, because you're saying one thing, it's not,
but the actions aren't, the actions aren't aligned.
I've experienced
that.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was just saying I've experienced the same thing as well, where, some people, they might be saying one thing, but the actions aren't quite aligned with what's coming out the mouth. So, I only really tend to take in the opinions and the thoughts of those who genuinely actually care for me. Because I know that they've only got my best interests at heart. And like I said, even if I disagree with them, I still appreciate them speaking to me about any concerns or just anything really, even if they know that I'm not going to be all that happy about it. I still always welcome what their thoughts are. What's your opinion on this, that, or the other. And yeah, I always like listen to them, and because it's just always coming from a good place.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think the most fortunate of us are those of us who have people in our lives that are willing to tell us the truth.
Yes.
The truth of their as they see it. It doesn't mean that they're always going to be right, but that
Yeah.
they can risk upsetting you for the
Mhm.
purpose of, sharing with you something that they believe is going to help. Like
That's
this,
right.
this is how we grow.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Receive it that way. Like some of us think we're always under an attack, and it's like, come on now, everybody's
No,
attacking you.
that's right. Yeah.
Mhm. So, what is the best compliment that you received about your natural hair?
Well, I don't know if I would say really it was a compliment, but I sort of took it that way. When I started wearing my natural hair more, it actually came from my husband. It was the look that he gave me when he called me an empress, and that's the first time he's ever actually called me that.
Uh,
And there was just something in that moment. There was silence for a few seconds while I just took that in, because he'd never actually said that word before to me whilst giving me the look that he was giving me. And that just lit up my whole heart to hear him say that. I don't know what it was. It just meant so much to me, him saying that, because it just shows that he's always loved and appreciated me for who I am. And he's not all that big on constantly giving out compliments. So for him to say that at the time that he did, I was just, I was speechless. So that was one. And to be honest, I have to say as well, I remember I did a video for YouTube, and I wasn't all that confident with the video, and I was thinking to myself, oh, my hair looks just so fine and sparse, and sometimes I have my moments where I'm just not 100% content. But then people were commenting on the video about how nice my hair was looking, and that really just helped to just lift me up a little bit. And then I had to just check myself and just rein myself back in and just remember who I am and just accept myself for who I am and my hair. And so it's been really nice as well, having nice compliments from the community on YouTube as well. So that's been really, really nice, having compliments from them, because they don't know me. They don't have to say anything. So that means a lot to me as well.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. So the husband felt like he called you empress. So he felt like he was giving like regal energy.
Yes.
It's giving royalty.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm here for it. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And just having the love, receiving the love from your online community.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see how that is, those compliments help, because, I get a little bit of that sometimes myself, and I'm like, girl, my hair wasn't even, it wasn't even that day, but they see something that you don't see, because you see it. You see yourself all the time. So when people get to see you hair looking different, or even you looking different, they see you in a way that you aren't able to see yourself.
That's it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. So, are you aware of any time in your life that like wearing your natural hair has cost you any job opportunities?
Well, this you will be very, very shocked to hear what I'm about to say to you in response to this question. Mm-hmm. So this was a while ago now, but I used to work in corporate. I worked for some of the largest law firms in the UK, and I worked for some of the most prestigious partners and legal executives and solicitors. And that was my full-time job for over 10 years. And when I used to work in these law firms, I used to either have relaxed hair or I'd wear straight-haired wigs. And there was a time when I went to my stylist to get my hair. I think it was to get my hair braided. It was braided, and I was having it in a nice wavy style, but she wasn't able to do it. And I just remember at the time that I was growing out the relaxer, and most of it had actually grown out, but I was really nervous about going into work without her having done my hair because I knew, okay, it looks natural now. So I was really paranoid about going into work. But I think this was on a Saturday, and then on the Sunday I managed to convince myself, and I thought, no, this is me in my natural state. They'll be fine with it. Everything will be fine. Went to work on the Monday, and I actually felt quite confident, and I thought, you know what, I might do this more often. And then one of the partners came up to me and he said, what the hell is going on with your hair? Those were his words. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He said that. And it got worse. It actually got worse because not only did I feel really just taken aback by it, after that, the discrimination started coming in. It's almost as if they now have painted this picture of me. Oh, you know, they've painted this picture of me. And from then, the discrimination started happening. They were just treating me so bad after that moment, because I think for the rest of that week, I had my hair in its natural state. And it was neat, it was beautiful, but I didn't really feel like that at the time because of the way they were making me feel. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to stand for this. So I started to actually document exactly how I was being treated, because as I said, it started off with the hair, and then it started with, oh no, you're not allowed to leave to go and pick up your 3-year-old child who's got chicken pox because, you know, you're just not allowed. And then I'd be getting verbally reprimanded for this and being called into meetings and being told, oh, by the way, everybody in the office has had a pay rise, but we couldn't give one to you. But if you try harder next year, you might just get that pay rise, treatment like that. And this all stemmed from that moment I came in with my natural hair. So to cut a long story short, I ended up taking them to court. And I represented myself. I thought, I don't even need a solicitor. I'm just going to show up and do what they do best because they've taught me. And I stood up in court. I showed them my documentation, my proof of the discrimination, and I won my case. And yeah, so that was pretty crazy that I actually went through that. And it started off just turning up to work, like how they turn up to work with their natural hair. So yeah, crazy.
Makes my blood boil.
Yeah.
That happened to you.
Yeah, it was horrific.
Because you chose to wear the hair that grows out of your scalp.
Absolutely. Yeah, just because of that.
Yeah. So, and you know, for me, I feel like when they see us embracing our own natural way of being and existing, they take it as a rejection of their way of being and existing.
Yes.
And then they feel like, oh, this person is, like you said, militant, you know, well, like we're not going to be able to really pull their strings, so to speak.
Right.
So they decided that you were a problem.
Yes, they decided that the moment they saw the afro, they put me into that box.
That isn't even always the case. Sometimes it's just you want to wear your own hair. You want to see it differently. Sometimes it is just, most of the time, it's just that. Like, we're not coming into work trying to fight the power. Like, we just want to wear our hair to breathe. Like, come on.
Exactly.
But I am glad that you sued them.
Yes, I did sue them.
In the court of law, and that you won your case. Like, win or lose, just the fact that you had the courage to stand up for yourself. I applaud that. But I'm happy that you won also, because who do they think they are? Treating you just because you wear your own.
That's right. And this is law. We're talking about law. They're working in law, but yet they were breaking the law. But I guess they just presumed that perhaps the color of my skin affected the use of my brain. And I was just I don't know what it was, but I couldn't just sit back and just take that, because my children were very young at the time, and I always wanted to teach them, don't allow anybody to belittle you or to make you feel less than for the way that you were born. And so I wasn't going to allow them to do that to me. Mm-hmm. And I just wouldn't have been able to live with myself, just allowing them to get away with that. Mm-hmm. So it was quite traumatizing, because even though I won my case, it still left an imprint in my mind. I thought, I can't go to another place of work now with my natural hair, because I can't go through this again. It was a lot. It took a year of back and forth before we even got to court. Yeah. So it was a lot, and I didn't want to go through that again. So again, it was almost like God steering me off that path and onto the path that I was supposed to be on.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic that you chose to grow. You chose to expand instead of shrink.
Absolutely.
Some people would just shrink because of security,
yes.
their job and, all these things, but they're making the money, but they're feeling miserable.
Absolutely. Yes, there are a lot of people like that. Yes.
Yeah, you decided to just expand and no, I'm going to stand in my truth. I'm going to fight for me, and whatever comes out of that is what's supposed to happen. And that doesn't mean it's not scary, right?
Yes.
But, I applaud you.
Yeah, it was very, and the thing is as well, the reason why I had to make a stand, because there were other Black women that were working in there as well, but I made it very clear when I was in the court, once I won the case and I was speaking to their solicitor who was representing them, I said it needs to be in the staff handbook that this cannot happen again. And they actually did. They actually put it into the handbook that no one was allowed to discriminate anybody else because of their hair. So even though I went through a lot, something good came of it, because they learned on that day not to discriminate others because of their hair texture. So it was worth it in the end.
Yes, definitely. And that you had the foresight to put in something protective for the people behind you.
Yes.
That is amazing. That's
thank you.
Bravo, Miss Selena. Bravo.
Oh, thank you.
I'm here for it. Clearly, my existence in the industry is a rebellion. So, it's she out here talking about the product. She telling us everything is toxic. All these things. And when I went into cosmetology, I was very clear about who I wanted to serve. And it was because of stuff like what happened to you, that we aren't even allowed to exist.
That's right.
As we are,
as we are.
It's fairly, we're not even allowed. And so I wanted to be a place where people can get that support and get that encouragement. And learn how to embrace and love themselves and stand up. You have choices to make, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Just like this job will accept you with the straight hair and the wig on, there is others that will accept you in your natural state. You just have to decide.
Exactly.
You just have to decide.
100%. Absolutely.
We on the other side now, and she's doing her thing, right?
That's right.
And fantastic. So I know we touched on this a little earlier in the conversation about the products, but do you use all natural? Is your regimen all natural, or do you use some synthetic products, or is it a combination? Where are you at now with it?
Okay, so ever since October 2023, ever since then, I've only used 100% natural ingredients. For the most part, organic. Sometimes it's hard to get the organic, but I haven't used any formulated synthetic products on my hair or my scalp for coming up to 2 years now, because I was adamant that I wanted to just give it a try of eliminating those products and just seeing what I could use from nature. Because I just kept thinking, hang on a minute, my ancestors were not using shea moisture. I need to know I need to do what they were doing. And I don't know. I don't have much trust. I don't have much trust in products that are catered towards us, that they are doing us any good at all. I mean, look at the relaxers. So I was quite hell-bent and quite stuck in my way in my ways when it came to finding ingredients that were going to work for me. And so I've kept it 100% natural. I haven't deterred off of that path, and I will continue on the path that I'm on of all natural ingredients.
Mm. Doesn't it feel good to know that when you get in your shower, when you are applying a product to your hair,
yes,
you are actually supporting your own health instead of harming it? Doesn't it feel
absolutely
good?
Oh my gosh, like no other feeling. It really just it does something, and it makes me just so proud that I don't need to rely on people who do not care for my hair or my health. I don't want to rely on people like that. So to take back that power into my own hands and create my own products that are doing my hair the world of good, that are doing my health the world of good, it's absolutely priceless.
It is. It absolutely is. It's a complete mindset and energy shift when you have the consciousness to say, you know what, I value my health more than this convenience, because that's what it is, right?
That's what it is. Yes.
When we get down to it and we, have done enough research and have enough knowledge, and we know that 99.9999999% of the stuff on the shelf has toxins that are harmful to us.
Yeah.
And so we have to work within that very, very, very small fraction of, what's available out there that's truly natural and healthy for us. If we're going to buy, right? If we're going to buy, they're out here, but they are few. And, I do my best to, shout them out, put them in my resources and stuff so that we can find the things that will give us more convenience, right?
Yes.
But for those of us who don't mind taking a little bit more time and mixing up a fresh, all natural thing, it just feels good to not have to worry about what type of health issue or, scalp issue, or is this going to be okay for my hair, in the long run. Like, you don't even have to think about it. Like, you just know.
I just know.
And
exactly.
you're more than likely closer to the practices of your ancestors than, because, a lot of cross-cultural sharing definitely occurred back then, right? There's trade and, travel. And so from different parts of the earth were definitely, sharing their different herbs and their oils, their plant, their plant. I don't want to call it a remedy, but you know what I'm saying? And I'm just so happy that some of us have the wisdom that back.
Absolutely. No, it really is the best feeling in the world to be able to just buy a whole bunch of ingredients and put things together, and then not only that, when you start seeing the results and when you start feeling the results as well, that just really affirms that you're doing the right thing, you're on the right path. And then when you've got all of this knowledge and you're able to pass it on to others, your friends, your family, and even on YouTube as well, passing it on to other people, I just feel as though it's like a movement that's happening, and it's beautiful to see that a lot of other people now are starting to incorporate, using natural ingredients into their hair care, because they try it and then they start seeing results, and quite quickly as well. So I could never even imagine buying another random store-bought product off the shelf, because it's kind of like food. Like I honestly see these products, the harmful one, with all these harmful ingredients and perfume and all these things in them that I don't even know what they are. I honestly relate that to processed food. Yeah, it's convenient. Yeah, it's quick. Yeah, it might settle the hunger just for a little while, but it's not good for you. And what's happening with the accumulation of these ingredients over time, our body knows what's real and what's not real, and what's man-made and what's from nature. Our body actually recognizes these things. This is what I've learned. And because I've documented absolutely everything, that's why nobody can't say anything to me about it or try to disprove anything, because I've got proof. I mean, I worked in law. I know how to gather my evidence and my proof. So I've documented this for the past nearly 2 years. And to see the difference to where my hair was when I was using the Shea Moisture and all these other products, to see the difference from then to now is just, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Listen, I'm 1000% on board. It feels good to just know that, okay, I'm doing the best and highest thing here, and I don't worry, maybe I can focus on other areas of life I might want to clean up, but this one right here, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I want to thank you all for joining us today for this conversation. With this segment, it is my goal to bring a positive, holistic, focused conversation to the natural hair space so that we all may have the most emotionally, physically, and spiritually healthy journey possible. Loving on and giving the best possible care to the hair that we were born with, and taking one step closer to living this earthly life as the highest version of our divinely created selves. So if you would like to join me for a conversation, please get in touch. And until then, we will see y'all on the next one. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.